Hey there guys, and welcome to my video on how to increase your score on Star Wars Battlefront 2 Starfighter Assault mode. So I personally think this is the best type of game mode on Star Wars Battlefront 2, so I'm going to share some tips and tricks with you, hopefully try and get you to be one of the best pilots out there. So the first tip I've got for you is to go along to the options settings and go on controller and to change your Starfighter controller settings. You'll see there that it's currently set at default. So the setting that I like to have this on is called Southpaw. Southpaw uses the left control stick to control your pitch and your yaw, and uses the right control stick to control your speed and your roll. The next tip I've got is pick the right ship for the job. So are you attacking a target or are you defending it? You're going to be destroying structures or other ships. So if you're going to be attacking the objective, you're probably best off using a bomber. Bombers have got lots of health and can do lots of damage with their missile ability. It's also worth noting, double tapping that missile ability button will shoot the missiles in a straight direction without having to lock on. Although it is worth mentioning, sometimes it is best to lock on to the objective, especially if it is a moving one like the target seen here. But that's up for you to decide, does the target need locking onto or can it be finished by a quick shot? The next ship I'm going to talk about is the Interceptor. The Interceptor is a quick, hard-hitting ship, but it does have minimal health. Given those facts, it's best to use the Interceptor when you're defending a target, so you can shoot off other ships with a minimal risk of being shot down yourself. That low health means it doesn't take many shots to get you down, and if you try to use it during an attacking scenario, you're going to dwindle those team numbers pretty fast. So, onto the final ship type, the Fighter. The Fighter allows you to attack or defend, depending on the scenario that you're currently playing. It's the most versatile of ships. It's got enough firepower to take down enemy ships when defending a scenario. It also has enough health so it can take a few shots before going down to save your team numbers. I use the Fighter most often in battle scenarios, especially the X-Wing. I find that the quad cannon deals massive amounts of damage and can take down enemies quickly, whereas the R2 unit can heal you a substantial amount which can keep you going in the fight longer. The Fighter also has good maneuverability, allowing you to line up those perfect shots against bombers and some of the slower heroes. Other fighters, such as the Vulture droid, have got the laser barrage ability. I found this ability difficult to use against other ships, as you've got to align it perfectly to deal the maximum amount of damage. However, it is very powerful against stationary targets, such as the objective, or slow moving targets like the Millennium Falcon. The next point is possibly the most important. It's which ability to pick when spawning into battle. So here we can see all the different types of fighters and all of their different abilities. It's worth noting that each of these abilities comes with its own strengths and weaknesses. One of the abilities I've equipped at all times is Reinforced Hull. That extra 20% health makes you that bit harder to take down in a dogfight. If you combine that with the Tactical Jammer and the extra health regen gained from the R2 unit, it's going to take you a lot longer to be taken down by the enemy. The longer it takes for you to be taken down, the more likely it is that the enemy's weapons will overheat, or even better, that they'll just give up entirely. Having advanced torpedoes will also allow you to take down objectives a bit faster, helping you in those attacking scenarios. Equipping the Fighter Weapons Systems perk should depend on your ship and your objective. It turns the X-Wing's quad cannon into an almost instant killing ability, whereas it turns the laser barrage ability into a high damage perk against objectives. Having tuned lasers causes a little bit extra damage to everything. Having repair systems equipped is also excellent whether attacking or defending. If you're attacking, it allows you to get back in the fight quicker if you take any damage. If you're defending, it allows you to heal faster, making it less likely that you'll dwindle those team numbers. So here you can see the different array of interceptors. I'm going to be honest, I always pick the same perch whichever interceptor I'm playing on whichever map. As I said earlier, the Interceptor is a quick, hard-hitting ship. I just picked perks that help excel its natural ability. And those perks are increased weapons damage, faster weapon shoot rate, and increased heat reduction. When combined together, this allows the Interceptor to deal more damage, shoot faster, and shoot for longer. This makes it the perfect ship for taking out enemy fighters quickly and efficiently. So let's have a look at the bombers. There's essentially only two types of bombers, light side and dark side. So the dark side bombers have electronic countermeasures. This means that the enemy can't lock onto you for a certain amount of time once it's activated. It also makes it harder to be hit by lasers, which is excellent when you're swarmed by enemies when you're trying to attack the objective. A perk that I always have equipped no matter which type of bomber I'm using is the reinforced hull. As like with the fighter, the extra 20% health is a real asset in battle, but given also the fact that bombers have the most amount of health out of all the ships, that extra per 20% is a massive amount. Equipping advanced torpedoes means you'll be able to do extra damage against the objective. Remember, bombers fire 2 torpedoes, so that extra 40% damage affects both of those. Likewise, tuned lasers allow you to do extra damage to the objective. It also allows you to damage the other ships a bit more. I don't tend to use the bomber as a fighter craft ship, but it is useful if you line up a good shot. This ensures you do a good amount of damage. Picking the bomber weapon systems perk depends on which ship I'm using. If I'm using a dark-sided ship, it increases the missile barrage damage. This massively increases the amount of damage you can do to objectives and other fighters. A perk I always pick for the Y-Wing is the Astromech health regen increase. Having that extra health regen really keeps you going in the fight and stops the team numbers dwindling. On to our next tip, shoot from a distance. Shooting from a distance means that any maneuvers that the enemy makes will be relatively smaller on your screen. This makes them easier to track and allows you to cause more continuous damage. So you'll notice in a lot of my videos, I do most of my killing from a distance. This makes it harder for the enemy to see where the shooting's coming from. It also negates any of the manoeuvrability benefits of the smaller ships. Fighting at close range requires you to make quick, fast-acting decisions, and sometimes you can't keep up with the enemy's manoeuvres. This gives them a chance to regen some health. Or even worse, activate an ion turret or a turret gunner, meaning that you're going to take some damage whilst you're trying to tail them. My best advice for this though is to back off a bit. Get further back, keep them in your sights, and start shooting. This goes for any ship type on any map. Find a good spot away from any debris, keep your distance, and shoot at anything you can. By the time they notice they're getting shot, it's too late for them to find you and they'll be gone. This technique works well with the tuned lasers perk, meaning that when you do get those hits in, they deal that extra amount of damage. This next tip's excellent for self-preservation. Don't stop moving. The majority of my kills are from straight moving targets, and you'll quickly find that if you fly in a straight line, you'll be taking a lot of damage. By moving around continuously and taking sharp, tight turns, it makes you a lot harder to hit. This gives the ship's regen abilities a chance to kick in. It means that you're less likely to be shot down. This technique's excellent when combined with repair systems, as it allows that whole regen to kick in a bit earlier. This next bit is a little known fact. That blue line next to your hull is your shield. The shield will absorb most damage from an oncoming missile, meaning that you've got full shields, an oncoming missile shouldn't cause a substantial amount of damage. This is good to know when attacking an enemy. Try and shoot them with lasers first before shooting the missile to cause a considerable amount of damage. If you've already taken some damage, or haven't got any shields, don't forget to use the afterburn technique to break enemy missile locks.
Keep them from calling reinforcements. Disable their communications.
Use the environment around you, but don't forget, the environment can be hostile as well as helpful. If you've got a manoeuvrable ship, you can easily use the environment to your advantage. But don't forget, it only takes one small clip to destroy even the biggest of ships. Some people frown on this next tip, but it's good for score gaining. Shoot turrets and NPCs. A fully damaged and destroyed turret is worth 300 points alone.
Those cruisers are key strategic assets. If you can keep the Separatists off them, they'll deal out serious damage.
TIE bomber reinforcements have arrived. Make sure they get through.
And I personally think I've saved the best tip till last. Pick an inconspicuous hero ship. Many of the hero ships are indistinguishable from the regular fighter ships, making you a lot less of a target. Many players, when they see a hero ship, will go after it for pride or points. Being able to disguise yourself in the fight can save your life and keep you going and keep those points massing up. Some good examples of these are Poe Dameron's X-Wing and Luke Skywalker's X-Wing, when, on a busy battlefield, look exactly like the standard X-Wings. Talia's A-Wing is the exact same shape and size as a standard A-Wing, apart from the slight colour change. Yoda's ship can pass for the interceptor seen during the Clone War periods, but it does tend to start standing out when using the Ion Pulse ability. For the dark side, I found Iden Versio's TIE Fighter. Looks exactly like a standard TIE Fighter, and in the midst of battle, I can't distinguish the two. And finally, Darth Vader's ship looks remarkably like a TIE Bomber. Well guys, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed my first ever edited video. If you have, don't forget to give that subscribe button a hit, give the thumbs up a click, and check me out on Twitch if you get a chance. Thanks for watching. You play safe.